Hey, so now we're on the sales worksheet. And I use Worksheet, Workbook, Sheet interchangeably. Workbook is basically a collection of sheets, and sheets are short for worksheet. So I know that can be confusing, but basically sales tab. And you can see that there's this tab on the bottom here. We're on the sales tracking worksheet, and what's amazing about this is that you can have data here for any number of years. Yes, you can just use it for your 2019 bookkeeping, but if you wanted to paste in all your prior year sales from Poshmark, you can definitely do that. If you want to keep using this long term, you can do that as well. Yeah, and everything, if anything kind of goes wonky or something's not working right, just reach out to me. I'm here. But welcome to the sales tracking worksheet. This allows you to enter sales from up to 5 platforms. I limited you how many platforms you can do just to make it not that many options. I know some of you have already reached out for a 6th one, but if you want to add another one to not making too kind of complicated, you can double up. So for example, for eBay, you can put eBay slash OfferUp. Now we'll just change your options here for platform. Your options will now be different. And that way you can have more than 5 platforms. But, so let's keep on going. So up here I have items sold by day of the week. That's just some statistics for you. I know some of us kind of are interested to know when our best sales day months are. And here you can see your traffic, basically your sales traffic by platform, which day of the week, and this is quantity of sales. So based on these examples that I already have in red, which you will want to delete in the future once you've entered your stuff in. But basically, Fridays are the best days. You can see which platform it is. If you change the year right here, it will only show you the statistics for that one year. So that's why that's there. So let me walk you through some of the columns here. What will ultimately happen is that you'll be entering information on a lot of these columns, depending on how much information you want to get out of them in the end. So you want to pick your platform, so I'll pick Poshmark. Listing date. So listing date is automatically included in the Poshmark sales report, and if you have noticed already, all of these columns are the exact ones in the Poshmark sales report. Hopefully they don't change at me, but basically you can download the Poshmark sales report and just copy and paste it in, all the rows. And I'll do a separate video on how to do that. So listing date will be when you actually put up the listing on Mercari. You can figure it out. I'm not sure about other platforms, or you can kind of guess what it is if you want to kind of populate everything. So say I listed it on the 10th of this year, and you sold it on the 20th. So this is the format you want your date to be. If you put like a different way to write the date, stuff might happen. So order ID is just like a reference number to the order ID. Usually you don't need it, but it's automatic in the Poshmark sales report. So I'll keep that blank for now. Listing title. So right now you can see up here there's a huge formula in here. Well, that's there for your convenience. This is going to be cool. So remember the item ID? I was like, you have to have it. Well, if you put it in first in the item ID column, so for example, 103, I press enter. We're going to wait a little bit while this loads. Just be patient, it's calculating formulas. But what will happen is that a lot of these columns will auto-populate based on what you entered on the inventory tab. So you don't have to copy and paste from your other page. You don't have to type it all out. It'll automatically pull it for you. And I think because I'm using the screen recording software, that's why it's being a little bit slow. But it will pull together a listing title. It won't be your official one, but basically we'll put together all the descriptors that you included in the inventory tab. This is the department, which can also be from the inventory tab. Category, so you want these to be kind of consistent. Yes, you can I think miscapitalize things, maybe not, but make sure you kind of write it out in the same way. So for skirt, you want to use skirt singular for all of your skirts instead of using skirts. Okay, it finally loaded. So this is the torrid dress, and you can see that things you already populated in the inventory tab showed up. So brand, color, size. So more columns. So bundle order. The way that Poshmark right now puts in bundles is that every single item from the bundle will be in a separate line, but this will say yes, that this is part of a bundle. So if this was part of a bundle, it would probably be at least 2 items, and you put yes. So offer order, Poshmark will tell you if you sent out an offer likers to it, and it's sold, and we'll be able to use that data in the future. It's not in the workbook yet. If you want to say if it's new or not, new with tag item. And this is where all the numbers begin, number crunching, and we want to be correct. So say I sold this torrid dress on Poshmark for $30. And I probably gave it a $1.50 discount. So I sent an offer to likers, $30 plus $5 shipping. So I want to say that the discount I gave was positive $1.50. And so now the equation will do it automatically for you. It will load. It's still thinking. But you might also want to include the state, especially if you collect sales tax. You have the buyer's zip code, buyer username. Buyer username can be really helpful if you want to find out who your frequent repeat buyers are. But as you can see, it has already pulled in your cost based on your item ID. And that's why we're using item ID. You didn't just have to go look for your cost, open up your book, figure out where your receipt is. It's right there. So that's the beauty of the workbook, and I'm hopeful that it helps a lot of you out. The formula is still loading. Oh, there it is. $22.50 is your earnings on Poshmark. If you select a different formula, it will calculate it differently. Right now, it's calculating for a couple of different platforms, but not eBay. If you are on eBay, there's other solutions that we can work with, but the easiest one to do would be to include all of your fees in this column. So for example, if your total fees, eBay, PayPal, and shipping were $10, you would include it there. You would select eBay here. And so when you select eBay, this formula will give you a message. And the message basically says, check for fees, which means, hey buddy, I don't know what exact calculations you use to figure out your net earnings. And net earnings is basically how much you get in your bank account when this transaction ends. But because you know it's $30 minus the $10, you would put 20. And you can just replace the formula there because you know you got $20 in your bank account. So yeah, a couple more columns. So sale type. This is where you can get a little bit. So you have the resale, which will be most of your sales, but you know, we have those personal items that we sell that are not really kind of the same. And a couple of you asked for a boutique option. So there's a boutique option in some of the later versions. I didn't make too many changes, so don't worry if you were like one of the first people to buy it. But I can easily add that in if you want. But I realized some of you would need it, and I sneaked that update in. So, in summary, this is the sales tab. I hope you understand what's going on. Let me know if you have any questions. One of the big things to know is this caution message. Maybe I should have put it in red. So please take care to not delete the formulas in the hidden columns A, B, and C. See how this starts at B? These columns are identifying the year, month, and day to feed into other tables. So and this is about to stop. So when you finally are ready to kind of start entering your own data, you'll want to highlight all those rows, right-click, and delete rows. If you end up just pressing the backspace button to delete, it will delete the formulas, telling the workbook what year, month, and date it is.